Transformers in 2026 is a divisive topic. In 2026, go figure. We're getting more incredible figures, but with the caveat of higher prices because of certain actions taken in authorial positions. I sure do love that. Studio Series continues to roll strong after a big year with SS86 Devastator and Megatron, and some choice figures because not everyone was a winner. All that to bring it full circle to the movie that ruined everything, because the original toy line is known internally at Hasbro as a proto-Studio Series. I only see it as a full circle moment because Barricade is last night Wave 1 alumni. Which brings us to the now with Studio Series Transformers The Last Night, Barricade. I wouldn't say he was on the top of my list of figures for them to do, but I do greatly appreciate it. Barricade's Last Night design is one of my favorites, minus 3 things, but 9 years later it still looks really great. I don't know if I prefer this design or the 2007 one because both are really good, and both really fit him. Our 2026 guy has some more movie intricacies while also having a seemingly simpler sculpt in some places. The biggest thing is his movie accurate head sculpt that doesn't look horrible, but I still prefer the concept art head, and if you also still prefer the concept art head, you're a real one. The chest is also pretty cool, having a proper midsection with that Decepticon badge right smack in the middle. My favorite omission is hands down the Knuckle Dusters. They never really did anything for me besides seem tacky. He also has handcuffs sculpted on his crotch, but it looks more like a dick ring than handcuffs. Didn't know he's kinky like that. Some paint to help differentiate it could absolutely help, and so could this camera actually focus on it instead of being blurry. The plastic color is a nice shade of navy blue, a bluish stone gray with a dash of black plastic. I really like his coloration, but I still like the original colors very much with the darker navy blue, his much more brown in tone grays, and even off-white. Barricade's accessories is where we sort of start to lose the plot. For starters, he finally comes with a taser that didn't come with the original but would have with that old knockoff that never came out. Next is the obligatory arm cannon that is iconic to this design for Barricade, but I do have an issue. Kinda wish it was interchangeable with either arm like the original toy, and I don't really like that you have to split it in two when on the original it was a system all in its own. However, what makes up for it is that it's Blastific compatible, and we love Blastific compatible at Halo Nuva Studios, even though I hardly show it, but we love it. I mean me. This is where the plot gets lost for me ever since I saw him at SDCC, in which I went dressed up as Heather and met Kevin Eastman, co-creator of the Ninja Turtles. It's these two puny little guns that I don't remember him ever using in the movie. What kills it is that they're too skinny, there's no oomph when you're seeing them. Hell, the grip is wider than the gun when it should be the other way around. Look, they're sculpted nice but work better as decorations than actual weapons. Speaking of which, the guns have these big old tabs on them and they slot right into the sides of his thighs. And that's where I leave them. But they do get in the way of the articulation for Barricade. The head's on a ball joint so you can look up this high and look straight at you because you could barely look down at all. You could have him look left or right. Make sure you get that full range so you can see. And no 360 obviously. You get a little head tilt. The shoulder's on a ball joint so you go 360 because look at that, the backpack doesn't get in the way. The arm goes out that far. You could simulate a swivel because it's on a ball joint. The arm's on a 90-degree bend, but on this arm, since it has the arm cannon, it's less than 90, or maybe just about. Honestly, I can't really tell. And then of course you could do the same thing because it's on a ball joint. Next you got a waist swivel, and as you can clearly see, the gun just came off. But the reason why, it's because look at that. When you do the waist swivel with the gun, it clashes with the backpack. But if you take the gun out, could swivel that waist to your heart's content. The hips also at a ball joint, so you can go this far forward, this far back, this far out. Then of course ball joint, so you could. Then you got to swivel at the knee, but it gets stopped by the wheel. Then you go the other way, it gets stopped on the other side. You got to bend at the knee, 90-degree bend. Technically, you got to bend at the shin, so you can digidegrade legs if you want, but that's more so for transformation. Same for this other one at the ankle. That's more so for transformation. Then you got an ankle tilt. Well, if you start to go the other way, it gets a detent. And then the foot, it's on a ball joint, so you could swivel it around. Or you could add on to the swivel, or I guess ankle tilts. Actually, no, that does not help, but That's more so of a transformation. Not that it's an actual step, but it's a part of the process. So, I mean, it's fine. Decent, I guess. I mean, what else do you want from a Barricade? Do you really want him to be like Spider-Man? I don't think you do. Barricade's transformation is a bit of a process, particularly in the leg section. But before we get anywhere, we got to take off all of his accessories. So yes, you got to parts from everything. I don't want to hear any complaining. So it's just, you know, I guess pretty standard fare Transformers business. Now to do the hard part first. Not that it's hard, but it is when you first open them up, because it sure happened to me, where the foot kept coming off over and over and over until, of course, figure it out. So let's do it now. So first off, we got to rotate the waist 180 degrees the other way, so you can see a little butthole. You want to rotate at the knee so that the back of the car is facing on the same side as the wheel. Let's move the leg out of the way so you can see what's going on here. So what you're going to do is you're going to use both hinges in his shin simultaneously at the same time. So when you do one, you do the other. But also you want to rotate the foot and also use the ankle hinge to move it up, so that you close it here at the base of the knee, and then you close it at the base of the ankle, and then you put in the foot, and you got one side done. Then of course you're going to bring the legs together. You're going to disconnect the chest. Then you want to move these panels so they're covering the headlights. Bring down this middle section, and as you do that, you want to bring things all together. You'll know you got it as soon as you hear the clicks from these sections going into here. Let's go to the backpack. You just move it up, open the doors, go to this little hood section right here, bring out this panel, then connect it right there. Next, we got to do the arms, which is pretty easy. You just bring it in up top, and then you just squeeze it through to the door, or I guess the little, whatever this is called, the little back section of the car. Do it on the other side. Then I think you could figure out what you're supposed to do next. But you bring the backpack back into here. Make sure you tab it into the little front part of the car. You're gonna use these tabs to tab it into the back here. Just tab it and make sure you fully connect it. Put in the taser on the back. Then you put one half of the arm cannon there. Put the other half there. Then you take the stupid guns and you tab them onto the sides. And there you go. Now he's all done. I really like the leg transformation part. It's very unique. Top half, it's pretty straightforward, but I mean, some of the best transformations are the most straightforward ones. Barricade's car mode is stunning. Honestly, is a contender for best car mode of 2026, and the year just started. When next to the original Toys car mode, you can see he is a legally distinct vehicle, which got me a long way. The only thing about it is how great it looks from the front, and how sedan it looks from the back, than the try-hard badass spoiler and Mustang taillights. So like trying to appeal to the machismo car guys. My favorite part is absolutely the front of the car. It looks one-to-one to the real thing that it sort of kind of starts to trip me out a little bit. The paint is also really great. No notes. He rolls as amazingly as, well, You know, need I bring him up thrice? The weapon integration is pretty standard Transformers fare of a bunch of weapons hanging off a car. Barricade's arm cannon ends up in the same place as the original, and it continues to make sense. Hell, even the Jaded Toys car did this exact weapon storage, and he doesn't even transform. The wimpy pistols tab onto the sides of the car and sort of evoke a stealth force kind of thing. Also, I think it's interesting it doesn't say to punish and enslave when that's his thing. I know there was an issue with that Hot Wheels one they did, to the point he had to be fucking recalled. Going back to the Jaded Toys one, and it says keep calm and hail Megatron, like, what? That's lame. To punish and enslave is effective and straight to the point, but with what's currently going on in the world right now, it is completely justified for Hasbro to completely omit it. Not to undermine the current state of affairs in the world, but it is also because of how he transforms. It would break up the saying, because all the other Barricades have had a dedicated section with the saying on it. The only exception is the movie Masterpiece, where there's like a hinge, which breaks up the saying when you transform them. Transformers Studio Series Last Night Barricade is a mostly good figure with slight hiccups. I'm glad they decided to revisit good old Barry, but his original figure kind of holds up, minus the whole heel getup. I'm sure now that they've done Nitro Zeus, Mohawk, Barricade, and with the leaked listing for a leader class Megatron, the rest of the Last Night Decepticons gotta be on the way soon, then everyone can stop fucking asking about them. I've been Halo Nuva, and this has been Offhand Reviews, the show where I reuse the same scrapper clip 3 videos in a row. And counting. I'll see you in the next video, whatever and whenever it may be, because as I keep on saying, making videos is an interesting hobby, and now that I'm actually doing it a bit more consistently, we can say it's a hobby. Is it really taking 2 minutes to fucking say this entire paragraph?